Myself, Miss Rachana Jain, Associate Professor, Department of English, Government PG College, Rajgarh, Alwar. Today in this video lecture, I will discuss with you the story Roots, written by Ishmat Chugtai, the famous Urdu writer. This story is mentioned in the syllabus of BA Part 3rd English Literature, Paper 2nd. Today's topics of this video lecture are introduction to the author Ishmat Chugtai, about the story Roots, and the summary of the story Roots. Students, in the previous video lecture, I have given you the detailed introduction to the author Ishmat Chugtai. Now I repeat you this short introduction of the author for your convenience. Ishmat Chugtai was the famous Urdu writer. She was born in 1915 and died in 1991. She began writing short stories and long fiction in Urdu at a time when writing by women, especially Muslim women, was seen as some kind of aberration. Progressive and outspoken in her views, Ishmat Chugtai wrote essays as well which were about other writers, social movements, marriages and other related issues, and so on. Of her 7 novels, Jiddi is the most famous and is considered the best. Hindi film Garm Hawa, which was about the partition, was based on some stories of her short stories. Roots is one of the best and most popular short stories of Ishmat Chugtai. This story has been translated from Urdu into English by M. Asuddin. It is set during the days of partition of India. Many stories were written about the post-partition days by different authors, but this story of Ishmat Chugtai is considered one of the best and most touching. Ishmat Chugtai was brought up at Jodhpur and she knows very well the Marwar region of Rajasthan in western India. While other writers wrote about the communal hatred, but Ishmat Chugtai wrote about communal harmony, love and mutual understanding between one Hindu and the other Muslim family. Set during the days of partition of India in Marwar in western India, Chugtai's short story Roots raises issues about nationality, belonging and communal feeling. With two families occupying center stage, one Hindu, the other Muslim, Chugtai moves backward in time telling the reader anecdotes and incidents about the close relationship which bound 3 generations of the two families together. The struggle for freedom does not separate them, as in spite of supporting belonging to different parties, they remain friends and continue to care about each other and support each other through all that befalls them. However, with independence, the consequent movement on both sides of the border, and all the atrocities committed, both real and reported, their age-old affection is overlaid with suspicion and mistrust. Small incidents are magnified and fear governs their actions, so that eventually the Muslim family decides to move to Pakistan. The mother, who stays behind and bereft and lonely, is consolated by the chachi from the Hindu household, but is nonetheless full of nightmarish fears until her family returns, brought back from the station by the old Dr. Sahib. Particularly interesting is the way in which Ishmat Chugtai keeps a balanced viewpoint through the story, never giving into partition, politics or communal agenda. She also makes some pointed remarks on the ease with which it is possible for some people to uproot themselves and move away from all that has been familiar to them. Through the medium of this story, the author raises questions as to what it is that causes any individual to feel connected to a person and a people, whether a common religion is the most important requirement or whether there are other ideas and attitudes which bind individuals and families together. Ismat Chugtai spent her childhood and early youth at Jodhpur in Rajasthan. Hence, she has first-hand knowledge about the close ties between the Hindu and the Muslim families of Marwar. The background of the story is the days of the partition of India, when Hindu-Muslim communal feeling was at its height all over the country. However, this story tells us about the close relationship between two families, one Hindu and the other Muslim. These families were bound together for 3 generations. Other Hindu families also were close to this Muslim family. Gyanchand of Hindu Mahasabha would tell Munni's father, the Muslim leaguer, "My Lallu will marry none but Munni." He said that he would bring gold anklets for her. That was the time when the formation of Pakistan was a matter of jokes. The head of Muslim family, Abba and Dr. Roopchandji, would make plans for a united Asia. The ladies of the two families would talk of spices and the dowries of their daughters. The daughters-in-laws used to ape each other's fashions. The Muslim family got salt, pepper, and medicines from Dr. Sahib's place. When anything special was cooked in Amma's family, the doctor and his grandsons would share it. Dr. Sahib would rush as soon as he heard of Amma's illness. He would jokingly tell her, "If you want to see me, just send a word and I will be here. You need not fake illness." When the doctor came to see a patient, all of them would line up for a check-up for their ailments. Whenever he came to know that a new baby was expected in the Muslim family, he would say, "The doctors is free for them. Procreate as many times as you want and make my life miserable." He would help the daughter-in-law in their delivery, cut the umbilical cord and bathe the child. After his retirement and Abbas passing away, Dr. Saab felt a new sense of responsibility. He would go to the children's school to get the fees waived. Nothing was done in the house without consulting him. He advised them to build two rooms upstairs. He was so close that when Fazlan was not ready to opt for science, he thrashed him with his shoes. When Farida returned home after quarrelling with her husband, Dr. Saab resolved the problem. Even the doctor's daughter-in-law Sheila acted as a midwife and brought cap and clothes for the newborn on the 6th day. Even the struggle for freedom did not separate the two families, although they supported the rival parties. They remained friendly and supported each other through thick and thin. However, in August 1947, there was movement of population on both sides. There were stories of atrocities committed, both real and reported, and these stories led to mutual suspicion and mistrust among the families. Small incidents were magnified and fear governed their actions. Finally, the Muslim family decided to emigrate to Pakistan. They packed their luggage when they found refugees coming in great numbers after losing all their possessions. However, Amma decided not to leave her place where she was born. She would go neither to Dhaka nor to Rawalpindi. All the members of Amma's family moved to the station in the lorries under the police supervision. However, Amma did not allow anybody to touch her trunk and decided to stay on at Marwar. Dr. Roopchandji was very much disturbed at the decision of Muslim family to shift to Pakistan. At night, his wife gave 2 trays of food to Amma. The whole night, Amma could not proper sleep. She had nightmares. She was worried about the safety of the members of her family. She had a fitful sleep. Quite early in the next morning, there was a violent pounding on the door. All the members of her family were brought back from Loni Junction by the Doctor Sahab. The Doctor Sahab repeated his remark, "If you want to see me, just send word and I will be here. You need not fake illness." 2 pearls of warm tears trickled down from Amma's eyes and fell on Rupchandji's wrinkled hands. So, Ishmat Chughtai's story Roots enjoys great popularity. Many writers wrote stories and novels about communal rights, discord, hatred, atrocities of the time of partition of India. This story tells us about the communal harmony, amity, love, mutual understanding between one Hindu and the other Muslim family. Although this story shows us the ferocity and rage of the communal violence, yet it ends with a message of hope. Hence, this story is very touching. Thank you for listening to my presentation. In the next video, I will discuss you the characters of this short story, Roots. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.